Uh, Let me address this real quick. I see Drake got a interview coming up with Lil Yachty, and this is a snippet they released.
I'm at the point now where I just want to and I feel like maybe we talked about this the other day, but I feel like I'm kind of introducing the concept in my mind of a graceful exit. I think I'm.
Yeah. Now, again, the clip cuts off before we exactly know what he's talking about, but most people are assuming that Drake is talking about perhaps he might be flirting with the idea that he should be planning and looking forward to a graceful exit to the music game or to being on top, right? Let's just say being on top because he is the most popular rapper. I think he's had that title pretty much perennially for the last 10 years. Now, this could be clickbait, but I definitely want to say I don't believe this at all. At all. Okay? If no rapper comes out and says, "Yo, I am ready to give up the throne." Nobody does that, okay? If Drake honestly was feeling that way, he would just naturally fall back. He would fall back. He would take a lot of, enjoyment in playing the back role and helping other people's careers, kind of progress, not necessarily still keeping his foot on people's necks. And that's what he's doing to the entire game. If he was really thinking about a graceful exit, he would be focused on maybe, I don't know, executive producing a Party Next Door album, kind of signing some new talent, like doing some more stuff that, again, just might not be with him rapping. I think Drake is still as motivated as could be because I think he's enjoying the perks of what comes with being the best and the top rapper in this modern day streaming era. The nigga has a cargo jet. He's a billionaire. If you ask me, he's the first musician or the first rapper who's made $1 billion off of music. Jay-Z's made $1 billion not off of music. And when I mean music, I'm talking about through his rhymes and through the selling or the streaming or through record deals that had to do with the music, okay? He's done a lot of ancillary deals that's made millions of dollars, but Drake is the only one who done that. For that reason, I don't believe this at all. So again, either this is kind of clickbait based on how it's edited, or I think Drake is saying this just like how he said, "Yo, when I get to 35, I'm gonna retire." And then when he got to 35, the nigga dropped. Like, how old is Drake now? Didn't he say he was 35? He wouldn't be rapping at 35? How old is Drake? Yeah, Drake is 36. You get what I mean? Like, come on. Drake is 36 and he's about to drop probably like 2 or 3 albums this year. So I don't believe for 1 second he's trying to do a graceful exit. I would say this, right? And clearly, I don't think any rapper just goes from rapping a lot to not rapping. So I do think he'll always rap. But if he didn't give a fuck about relevance and he didn't give a fuck about running the game no more, I think he would move a lot more like Wayne. I think Wayne, after he went through the whole thing with Cash Money, I think, and actually even before then, I think even when Wayne prioritized Young Money, I think Wayne was cool with other people taking that top spot. I think he, in that 2008 era, maybe 2008 to 2010, or let's go back a little before that, 2007 to 2010 or 2009, I think Wayne wanted to absolutely be the number one. Everybody talk about me, 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 me. And I think shortly after that, he found a new love of trying to help other people's careers and not giving a fuck about how he was perceived or trying to stay on top necessarily. And if you talk about a graceful exit, I won't be honest with you. I think a lot of people have had graceful exits out the game. You know what I mean? Again, I don't think there's ever going to be a graceful exit where you don't rap anymore. I think Nas has had a graceful career. Like, I think he's dealt with the highs and lows of his career. I think I don't know if I could necessarily say Jay-Z, but I got to say Jay-Z because I've never seen him complain, even though he did announce his retirement like 2 times and came back, right? He basically did the Jordan shit. But I look more at Wayne. I think Wayne has had a graceful transition, and let me not call it exit, a transition through being the most relevant artist to what it is. I think Drake definitely looks forward, or not looks forward, but he anticipates a day where maybe he isn't the most popular rapper on earth anymore. I definitely believe he knows that day is coming, but I don't think he is planning for it actively where he's almost thinking it's happening anytime soon, right? Just like I don't even think LeBron knows his career is gonna come to an end at a certain time. But I don't think LeBron is like, yeah, I'm just trying to wrap this year up and maybe I got one more in me and then I'm done. I don't think LeBron looks at himself as like, yo, in the next 2 years I'm gonna be done. I think LeBron probably still think he has 4 more years, right? And the 4 years he's thinking he's gonna have is gonna be 4 years of impactfulness, right? But that's a long far cry of saying, oh yeah, he's thinking about this immediately, like this year is the last year, or the next year is the last year. So when it comes to Drake, I just don't believe that um he's planning this as keenly as people want to kind of make it seem with these comments. I think he definitely probably is also just taking into account we haven't seen the most relevant rapper in the game or the most trendy rapper in the game be a 40-year-old guy. And in the next 4 years, Drake's 40. You get what I mean? That's just what it's going to be. And I think he realizes at a certain time, he's going to lose touch no matter how much he does collabs with newer artists. He helps put other artists on, newer artists, that is, and he does a really good job of trying to integrate with the new crowd. He doesn't try to force like his older style on them. He kind of, all right, cool, y'all doing Jersey Club? Cool. I'm dropping a like Sticky, or I'm doing some shit that kind of is close to it, but I'm doing it my version. I think he's really good with that, but I don't think Drake is at a point where he's just like, he's ready to hang it up. I don't believe that. And then Raheem, I agree with you. Raheem on Twitch, he said, yo, didn't the niggas just sign for like 500 million? Exactly. 500 million, like 5-6 projects. He's going to have to complete it in the next 2-3 years. I think he's going to flirt with it. And then I think maybe the next deal he does, maybe he doesn't drop it at such a rapid pace, but he's still going to be dropping music. Also, here's the thing with Drake, and tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing something. Unlike Wayne and unlike Jay-Z, I believe that Drake has probably the least things set up that if he stopped rapping now, he could fall back into. Yes, obviously he has some stuff with Nike, with Nocta, and stuff like that, but I'm talking about maybe passion projects, things that it would be worth giving up rapping or dropping music all the time to do. Obviously Wayne was focusing on Young Money and he had some other issues, whether it was health issues or it was kind of figuring out like, yo, he liked skateboarding or whatever that he wanted to do. Jay-Z clearly wanted to get on the business side of music. I can't tell if Drake stopped dropping music as frequently, what would Drake do? I just can't tell you what he would do. Drake don't really seem interested in putting on other artists, at least on his label. Drake always seems to be interested in finding whoever is hot and giving them a cosign, but that's usually through rap. So I don't know what would Drake do if, he just stopped rapping. Right? Somebody says Top Boy in Euphoria. Honestly, I would have thought that Drake would have done a movie by now. Like, really, like, Jack Harlow, Jack Harlow's been on for like one summer, and the motherfucker is doing White Man Can't Jump. Like, shit, right after the album, nigga went to go film a movie. That's probably going to start a different vertical for his career. So he's exploring the acting stuff. Drake came in the game and people are like, oh, yo, he's an amazing actor, this and third. He was on Degrassi. Drake really has never done any acting other than maybe a cameo here or there, or like a couple music videos with some extended intros. Like, I would expect Drake to do a movie by now. I would assume that because he hasn't, his passion isn't there for movies. So don't tell me now his passion is going to be to lock in on Top Boy. You know what I mean? Like, he's obviously, I don't know if he owns a franchise or he's just like an executive producer, whatever it is, but it doesn't seem like his passion is making film. Somebody say he don't need it. Well, here's the thing though. You always need something that's passion filled. Like, Drake is so rich, you have to think about it. What the fuck motivates Drake to still try to be the best? And for me, I think legacy. I think he cares a lot about legacy. I think he wants to be mentioned as the best overall, right? And Really, I think that's the majority of it. I think it's mostly legacy and just passion for the game. But I don't think Drake, like, yes, is he putting out more music more frequently these days for money? Yes. But is that the only reason? No, I think he definitely has a lot of passion too. I think he knows right now he's in a place that no rapper's ever been when it comes to music. He has more leverage than any other rapper's ever had. And I think he wants to milk that in terms of how much money he could get out of it. It's kind of like Floyd once he got to the position of demanding at least 100 million per fight. You know, shit. These days Floyd is even retired, but apparently still gets like 40 to 50 million per fight. He's fighting anybody. He's going to get these millions. That's what it is. Somebody says, nah, Drake want to be a hooper. I seen him in the big three. Come on, man. Let's actually be serious. So I don't believe that at all. So when I hear this,
I'm at the point now where I just want to like, and I feel like maybe we talked about this the other day, but I feel like I'm kind of introducing the concept in my mind of a graceful exit.
nah. If Drake was doing that, he wouldn't say it. If Drake was doing that, he won't say. It wouldn't say it. Mm-mm. You would just see him drop less. You would see him drop less, and just certain things you would just see him not care about. But when I look at how the landscape is, Drake drops are competitive. He wants to make sure, yeah, there's always going to be the little babies and, well, Young Thug, he's going through his shit. There's always going to be these hot up-and-coming rappers. Drake, even like the schedule of how he releases music, is always to let people know I'm still that guy. And if you're preparing an exit, you wouldn't care about that conversation as much. You just can't. You know what I mean? If Usain Bolt was still caring about, unless you just can't do it anymore, like physically, right? Like, for example, like with Usain Bolt, like he probably does care about, you know, being number one and breaking every record all the time and winning every race. But he had to get used to the fact that, listen, you did this already, and there's going to be a new kid who's going to be able to run like a 9.7, and shit, you're getting older. I don't think Drake internalizes shit like that. Not yet. Not yet. And I could be wrong. So I said, let's see, moving on. You can't hold him for the past of just saying it. Yeah. And I'm going to be honest with you, I judge Drake by the context and the content of his music. If you listen to Drake's music, like, Drake got bars like, I'm Mirda. I think he has a line that says, he's playing like a game with the top where nobody could get it or some shit like that. I can't remember what it says. But basically, most of his lyrics are saying that, I like the fact that no one's number one. And the only way you continue to be number one is by continuing to put out music. You can't just be number one by, if Drake stopped putting out music now, like, to me, I'll call him the GOAT. But then there's going to be a kid that gets born like 2 years from now that when they're 20, they're going to listen to some new person, and that person's going to be dropping all the time. And they're going to say, no, this is the GOAT, right? So I think Drake just kind of likes prolonging that. I think he enjoys it. Sometimes you get bored with being number one. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, when I was dropping YouTube videos, I was doing 7 YouTube videos a day. This is before, Vlad has been number one on YouTube recently, for like the last year or two. But I had a 5-year stretch where I was number one every single month when it came to influencers, and for about like 60% of that time I was beating even the Breakfast Club. Just off my YouTube numbers, I was just grinding. Videos. A lot of videos. And it mattered, of course, at first because it was like the validation I needed. But once I started expanding my mind and I got validation from other places and I became okay with who I was and my my passions became bigger and I wanted to do other things, I became okay with knowing that, dude, you might not have the biggest numbers on YouTube because you don't put out the most videos no more. And you got to have that moment of thought to be like, okay, you're taking a step back. All right? Just is what it is. I don't think Drake is there yet. All right. Yeah, anybody else with anything to add for that? Someone says last solid album was 2016. Oh yeah. I'm not streaming on the Negotiator channel. My bad. That's coming up immediately. Okay. Yeah, so I don't believe this. Apparently, this is a part of a new thing by Yachty, right? So if you look at